Good morning, I am Praram Adahal. Let's start with the main stories. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli charged of spending time at irrelevant functions despite his pledge to focus on development works. The CIAA lacking teeth to penetrate into corruption cases. The number of corruption cases filed by the anti-graft body dwindling by the day. Nobel Peace Prize winner Malala Yousafzai returns to Pakistan for the first time since being shot by Taliban militants. The 4-day visit planned under tight security. And tainted Australian cricketers Steve Smith and David Warner handed 1-year suspension. The duo ousted from the upcoming Indian Premier League as well. Let us now begin with the latest national political updates. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli had assumed the office of executive head just over a month ago. However, during this brief span of time, he has attended over a dozen official programs. Prime Minister Oli spent some 3 hours at a program of the party's sister organization, General Federation of Nepalese Trade Union, GFONT, delivering a 45-minute-long speech yesterday itself. A week after his appointment as the Prime Minister, Oli had spent half a day at Chandragiri's Indradhaha Tourism Festival. Ironically, addressing the function, Oli did not forget to mention that he would not spend his valuable time on insignificant programs.
मेरो हरेक पाइला विकासका लागि विकासको बाटोमा म इन्द्रदह आएँ भने विकासका लागि आउँछु विकासको बाटोमा मेरो पाइला चलेको हुन्छ नत्र भने दिन किन गाल्ने.
Despite reiterating that he would refrain from programs bearing little significance, Premier Oli's recent modus operandi tells a different story. Ever since assuming the top executive post on the 15th February, Premier Oli has spent time on over a dozen programs, including book launch as well. Meanwhile, former lawmaker and Deputy Prime Minister Chitrabahadur Kesi has urged Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli to refrain from such programs and work towards making the general public feel a positive change. Now it comes under the jurisdiction of the Commission for the Investigation of Abuse of Authority, CIAA, to probe and file a case against any retired or incumbent government official found guilty of possessing property disproportionate to one's income. However, judging by the number of cases filed by the anti-graft body, it seems that either there is no corruption in the country or the Commission has failed to exercise its jurisdiction in the right way. The number of cases filed by CIAA for corruption charges has diminished in recent years. There were only 4 charge sheets filed at the Special Court for Corruption case in the current fiscal year. CIAA has the right to demand for property details from any individual found living an extravagant lifestyle in a bid to verify whether the property has been amassed through illegal means. In cases of abuse of authority, the Commission files a case at the court on corruption charges. While national and international investigation bodies like Transparency Nepal, among others, have published statistics that show acceleration in corruption in the country, the dwindling corruption cases filed by the CIAA suggest the authority has failed to be penetrative enough. There are a total of 23 old and new cases at the special court that are under consideration, while only 3 cases were settled in the last 3 years. Analysts say that judging by the standard of living of many government officials and political leaders, there is a sheer urgency to bring them under the microscope of the anti-graft body. Meanwhile, CIAA's apathy also leads to speculations that the authority itself is covering for the misdeeds of the corrupt officials. The government has trimmed down the number of public holidays by 12 days. It still means that there will be 89 public holidays next year. Of the total number of public holidays, 67 public holidays will be applicable for all the civil servants, while 22 public holidays will be given to ones representing specific religion or cultures. Yesterday, in the context of the Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli attending irrelevant programs, we had asked the residents of Bhaktapur, Kaski and Chhapa regarding their perception about the Prime Minister's continuous presence in lightweight programs. Let us now take a look at what they had to say.
सानो सानो कार्यक्रममा उहाँहरूले टाइम वेस्ट गर्नु हुँदैन राष्ट्रको लागि भएपछि उहाँहरूलाई गर्ने त कार्यकर्ताहरू छँदैछन् नि
सानो सानो विषयमा मान्छेहरू आक्रोश भएका छन् त्यसमा चाहिँ उहाँहरूले राम्रो बुझेर सावधान गरेमा गइदिए सारै राम्रो हुन्छ
अरु नेता जाँदा पनि हुने अरु मन्त्री जाँदा पनि हुनेमा चाहिँ नजाँदा नै बेटर हो
देशको हितमा छ भने पनि आफ्नो मन्त्रीहरू छन् उहाँलाई पठाउँदा चाहिँ बेस हुन्थ्यो कि जस्तो लाग्छ
अति नै सानो कार्यक्रममा जानु भनेको त हेर्नु सुहाउँदैन भएको टाइम वेस्टेज हो त्यसको लागि त्यसको सट्टा तपाईँले डेभलपमेन्टल वर्कमा धेरै दिन सक्नुहुन्छ।
त्यो सानसानो चाहिँ कार्यक्रमहरूमा नगएर देश विकास कसरी हुन्छ, जनताको लागि कसरी भलो हुन्छ, त्यसको लागि कदम चाल्नुपर्ने हो।
It is now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us your opinion.
Public Pulse.
The question is, why has the trend of local government officials visiting Singhdarbar not stopped? Your options are A, central mentality, B, ineffective local government, and C, personal interests. The voting is on. You can type NEWS, select your option A, B or C, and then send it to 8080 to share your opinion with us. Moving on, Lumini is currently preparing to host a conference on the 28th and 29th of April, marking the special occasion of 2562nd Buddha Jayanti. The slogan for the conference this year is Lumini Nepal, the birthplace of Buddha and origin for world peace and Buddhist philosophies. Special invitations have been sent to ministers of culture of 23 countries to participate in the conference. Vice Chairperson of Lumini Development Fund, Avadis Kumar, said the special guests will participate on the third day of the conference. Organizers have said the primary aim of the conference is to promote Lumini as the origin of Buddhism and world peace and to encourage study of Buddhism across the world. Likewise, the conference is also held to help develop Lumini as a Buddhist hub and to promote the place as a religious and cultural destination. It is now time for some international news. Nobel Peace Prize winner Malala Yousafzai has returned to Pakistan for the first time since being shot by Taliban militants. Yousafzai, now aged 20 and a vocal human rights activist, was shot in the head by a gunman for campaigning for female education in 2012. AFP news agency quoted an official that details of the trip has been kept secret in view of the sensitivity. She is expected to hold meetings with Prime Minister Shahid Khan Abbasi. She arrived at Islamabad's Benazir Bhutto International Airport with her parents under tight security. According to local media, the trip is expected to last 4 days and she had arrived with officials from a Malala Foundation group. A vocal advocate for female education amid militant suppression, she was targeted on a school bus at 15 and a story catapulted her into international fame. Yousafzai became the youngest person and the first Pakistani to win the Nobel Peace Prize in 2014. She and Indian activist Kailash Satyarthi were jointly awarded for their efforts for children's rights. She has continued campaigning while pursuing her studies and last year earned a place at Oxford University. The bearish trend at the Nepal Stock Exchange, NEPSE, has continued unabated. The share market witnessed a downward spiral from last year, shedding points regularly from a high of 1,871 points. In the space of 1.5 months since the new government was formed, NEPSE has shed off over 200 points, while investors have lost 240 billion rupees. Our correspondent Neetu Pandit caught up with share expert Gopal Vatta, who spoke about mainly 3 reasons behind the bearish trend, and this was what he had to say.
पछिल्लो समयमा एउटा मार्केटले हाइट लिइसकेको थियो। अब त्यो सधैँ हाइट लिने भनेर एकपछि अर्को जम्प गर्दै जाँदैन, कुनै एउटा निश्चित पोइन्टमा पुगिसकेपछि त्यो घट्छ नै। यसैले ट्रेन्ड यो बियरिश ट्रेन्ड हो, घटिरहेको छ। नम्बर 1। नम्बर 2 यसको सप्लाई हो। सप्लाई साइडमा अहिले व्यापक रूपमा तपाईको थाहा छ कि बैंक वित्तीय संस्थाहरूले बेसिकली अझ इन्स्योरेन्स कम्पनीहरू पनि आएका छन् अब थोपिएर। त उनीहरूले सेयर बढाइरहेका छन्, सेयर पुँजी बढाइरहेका छ, सेयरको सङ्ख्या सप्लाई बढिरहेको छ। त्यो सप्लाई बढिरहेको कारणले नियम पनि के हो भने प्राइसिङको नियम के हो भन्दाखेरि डिमान्ड र सप्लाईले डिटर्मिन गर्ने हो। डिमान्ड बढे प्राइस बढ्नु, डिमान्ड घटे प्राइस घट्नु, सप्लाई बढे प्राइस घट्नु, सप्लाई घटे प्राइस बढ्नु। यसैले अहिले सप्लाई बढेको अवस्था हो। त्यो दोस्रो यसको घट्ने कारण हो ब्याज दर। र त्यो अहिले कस्ट त्यसको पनि बढिरहेको छ। स्वाभाविक रूपमा उनीहरूले को कस्ट बढ्दाखेरि ब्याङ्कहरूले मार्जिन कल गरिरहेका छन्। मार्जिन कल गरिराख्दाखेरि कस्ट अफ फन्ड बढेको कारणले उनीहरूले पनि त्यो के बिक्री गर्नु परिरहेको छ। त त्यहाँ पनि सप्लाई अझ बढ्यो बजारमा।
We now move on to some sports update.
Sports news.
Cricket Australia, the Australian Cricket Board has handed 1-year suspension to skipper Steve Smith and his deputy David Warner for their involvement in the ball tampering case in the Cape Town Test match. The other cricketer, Cameron Bancroft, is banned for 9 months. All the 3 cricketers were sent back from the ongoing South African tour. The 31-year-old Warner would not be able to be in leadership position of the Aussie team, while 28-year-old Smith won't be able to lead for at least 2 years. The ACB has, however, cleared the tainted cricketers to be a part of One Day World Cup in May 2019. Smith and Warner have also been banned from the upcoming Indian Premier League beginning 7th of April. The Board of Control of Cricket in India, BCCI, has already told the concerned teams to replace Smith and Warner. Smith had earlier resigned as the captain of IPL franchise Rajasthan Royals, while Warner announced his resignation of Sunrisers Hyderabad yesterday. American John Isner has progressed to the semi-finals of the Miami Open. Isner saw off emerging South Korean player Chung Yong in straight sets to secure his spot in the last four. It took the 14th seed Isner just 25 minutes to take the first set 6-1. Isner, who has been in good form in recent time, won the second set 6-4 against the 21-year-old Hyung. This is Isner's 11th semi-final appearance at the ATP Masters. Meanwhile, this is the first time since 2000 that top 4 seeds in the world ranking failed to progress to the quarter-final of the Miami Open. This also means that Isner faces the perfect opportunity to clinch the Miami Open title. Narani Cricket Ground in Birgunj was once a hub for producing national cricketers, but the ground is now in completely dilapidated condition. National cricketer Arif Sheikh had started his cricketing career playing at this very ground. Sheikh still takes out time to practice his cricket at this very ground. Arif says that he feels heartbroken at the present plight of the ground, which once almost boasted of international class. It was once surrounded by a wire framework from all the sides, but due to lack of conservation efforts, the framework has disappeared towards the eastern side of the ground. Some locals are also claiming part of the ground as their private property. Local cricketers and cricket coaches also reflect the sentiment of Arif Sheikh when they speak about the present state of the ground. Cricket enthusiasts in Birgunj say that Narani Cricket Ground is desperately waiting for renovation works to cash in the budding talent this region can offer. That is all for the moment. Our next English bulletin will air at 11 a.m. Keep watching Kandipur Television SD for more news and entertainment. Have a great day ahead.